Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Blake316 here with a new video for you guys. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you my first impressions on Ubisoft's new IP, Immortals Fenyx Rising. Now, for me personally, this was definitely my most anticipated game of the year. Reason is, if you look at the game, it is a Zelda Breath of the Wild clone. And for me personally, Zelda Breath of the Wild was not only my game of the generation, but it was probably one of the best games I've ever played. So when I first seen this game announced, I told myself I have to have it and I can't wait to play it. So now I've been playing it for a bit. I have the game in my possession. I have a physical copy. And in this video, I'm pretty much going to give my first impressions on the game. If you're not familiar with the story, basically, it's Greek mythology where you're Zeus and another character by the name, I think, Prometheus. I'm not too sure. I'm not a Greek mythology major. All I know is Zeus, Hercules, and Poseidon. But basically, they're overlooking this guy that you see on the screen, and he's trying to save the world. Now, as far as the visuals, the graphics are pretty good. They're not impressive, in my opinion. They're not blowing me away. But as far as, I'm not complaining. I think the graphics are pretty good. They do have the Breath of the Wild style of artistic choice. Does it do it better than Zelda Breath of the Wild? Absolutely not. Zelda Breath of the Wild, in my opinion, still looks better. And I'm going to say this. It's really hard to judge this game because, yes, everyone's going to compare it to Zelda Breath of the Wild. And those are really unrealistic expectations. But if you try to be a clone of something, it's just going to happen, right? Now, let's move aside from the visuals. The visuals are good. They're not going to blow you away, but you're definitely not going to complain about them. Now, like I keep saying, I keep comparing this to the Breath of the Wild franchise, right? There's actually some things that this game does better than Zelda the Breath of the Wild. For example, the stamina bar. For example, anything you see anywhere in the distance you can go, you can climb. Now, if you notice something, if I go to climb, this pillar, you notice there's a stamina bar. As I climb, my stamina continues to decrease, just like in Zelda Breath of the Wild. In Zelda Breath of the Wild, if you ran out of stamina, you would fall off and you would have to either build it up or you just couldn't climb. In this game, you can actually go around collecting mushrooms. And if you eat it while you use your stamina, it increases it. So therefore, you can actually climb higher things. That's one thing that I think does better than Zelda Breath of the Wild, because if I see a really high thing, if I can eat these little mushrooms and I can get up there. Whereas Zelda Breath of the Wild is like, nope, you need to get stronger, you need to do this and that. So that's one of the things I think it does well. Another thing I think it does well in this game, as far as I've witnessed, weapons don't break. Now, I noticed that was probably the biggest complaint to a lot of people who played Breath of the Wild. They hated the fact that their weapons broke and they didn't want to play it. For me personally, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was a deal breaker for a lot of people. In this game, your weapons don't break. Now, as far as combat, this game is fairly different than Zelda Breath of the Wild. For example, you have a kind of controls like I would say Devil May Cry with a combination of God of War. I'm not going to fight that guy right now because he's up in there. He's going to kill me. But it's definitely like the first God of War 1, 2, and 3 with a combination of Devil May Cry, excuse me. Now, what I mean by that, if you notice, I'm going to fight these guys right now. I can chain my combinations together. And I can dash out, I can dash in, and it builds up a combination where it's just like, it's literally old school God of War style. And that's absolutely completely different than what Zelda Breath of the Wild was, right? As you see, there's right now, a lot of the enemies do look the same, but right now, because I just started playing the game, that's not too much of a big a deal. I know as I progress in the game, I want to see more variety in enemies. But here's a little quick glimpse of the combat. Once again, it's not going to blow you away. And if you hear the clicking, it's literally like, it's kind of a button mashing type of thing. I have not yet experienced any type of combinations that I can put together. But if you notice, in the combat. Let me see if I can kill some of these guys. Right now I'm using my axe. You've seen a little arrow action. Kill that guy. I believe there's 2 more left. And if you notice, there's numbers, so apparently there's like an RPG element where you can obviously get more stronger. You can stun your enemies depending on the weapon you choose. Right now he's stunned, so now I can hit him. Now if you notice, I saved my friends or whatever. Here's a little story. Now if you notice with the combat, there's a few things. He holds a sword, he holds an axe, and you can also hold an arrow. He manages to hold all these items all on his own. I don't know how, but yeah. So there's a variation. You get the axe, you can get the sword, and you get the bow and arrow. As far as the combat, it definitely reminds me of old school God of War, some Devil May Cry. It is a kind of button mashing-y. I don't think you'll be able to put combinations together, so that's definitely a complaint. I feel like the combat could get a bit repetitive, but you see some of the story here. The visuals, like, it's nothing crazy. I feel like it could be a little bit more impressive. I feel like, I don't know if Ubisoft was leaving a little room to grow, because you know how Ubisoft likes to, once they make a franchise, they're going to make a sequel, they're going to make a third one, etc. So who knows? Hopefully this game does sell. But honestly, right now, as far as the combat, the story, the graphics, I'm liking the game. I'm not complaining at all. Also within the game, because it is like Zelda Breath of the Wild, there are shrines. Basically within the shrines, you go around and it's kind of like a puzzle you got to complete to eventually progress in the game, eventually progress and build up your character. There is an actual story to it. You're not necessarily venturing off and doing things on your own. As you see in the top of the screen, there is kind of like there's a yellow bar and it kind of tells you where to go. So it kind of holds your hand a little. It's not as much as venturous as Zelda Breath of the Wild was, but overall, I'm enjoying the game. I'm liking the game a lot. If you like Zelda Breath of the Wild, is it going to be as good as it? No, but it definitely gives you the feeling. And right now, it's giving me that. It's holding me down until Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. But anyway, these are literally just my first impressions. I'm liking the game a lot. It's definitely a good first IP for Ubisoft. I'm excited to see what they do with this in the future. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this game. And who knows? It's definitely so far one of the best games I've played this year. But anyway, it's me, Blake 316. If you're looking forward to this game, definitely let me know. If you're plan on playing this game, if you're playing this game, let me know your thoughts on it as well. But anyway, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe for future videos, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Until next time, peace.